today with you at the Madrid summit. What I really want to talk about today is speed and scale of technology, what this means for alliance and European security, and how at NATO DIANA we're helping to create defense and deterrence. The thing I really want you to keep in mind is your role in helping the alliance, whether you're a startup, whether you're an investor, or whether you're an industry colleague. Speed and scale of technology are the decisive factors in defense, and you need not look that far to conclude that this is the difference between success and loss on the battlefield. Both the war in Ukraine and Iran have been shaped by technology, and in particular, constant iteration and fast adaptation of technology where the battlefield isn't frozen for long. And this adaptation of technology quickly spreads throughout the globe. Israeli soldiers in Lebanon are now facing the same kind of drones that were developed and pioneered in Ukraine. Let's talk a little bit about scaling then. One big factor in Ukraine's advantage has been drones. I think we can all agree that. Ukraine has built a domestic drone industry with more than 500 manufacturers and production reaching into the millions. Here's a really good stat. Ukraine went from 3,000 to 5,000 drones in 2022 to 2.2 million by 2024, and production capacity has now reached 10 million annually. This is one of the most rapidly military-industrial scaling efforts in modern history. So it really is speed and scale of technology that delivers advantage. And yet this is the problem the alliance and European nations are facing. And this is what we need to really get better at. It's rapid adoption of great technology. And this is where NATO DIANA comes in, right? We're fairly newly created, I would say. And DIANA exists to help NATO innovate at the speed of technology. Our mission today is to find the most promising technology, often born in the civilian sector, and accelerate them through to a point where allied militaries can actually use them. So we're taking civilian technology, really good ideas out there, and pivoting them into defense. At NATO DIANA, we talk about our unique capabilities as being our superpowers. And our superpowers are really unique. Only we can do that, and only we can do it really well. So our first superpower is that we run a challenge-based accelerator. We don't just look for cool technology. Our starting point is military need. We work with all 32 nations to understand what the problems are facing our militaries today. And this increases innovators' chance of success as the solution is matched to real-world demand. There will be pull-through because someone in the military wants your technology. Our second superpower then is whilst we provide a module to teach you how to navigate defense and security, which can be really complex, right? It's a 32-nation market. We provide opportunities for testing and operational experimentation. So you can test and harden your technology in a real-world scenario. And that is the best stamp of approval you can get to move on to a contract. Our third superpower then is we have built the NATO DIANA Capital Network. And this is where we've pulled in big investors across the alliance. We've screened them to make sure they are like-minded, and then we are showing our innovators to this community of investors and asking them to invest. And we've got some really great successes out of this. And it just ensures longevity of startups, and it ensures you're able to scale your products. Fourthly, and lastly, and most importantly, when a solution is ready, we have a rapid adoption service framework. And what this allows is NATO DIANA to facilitate follow-on contracts. So we're not just an accelerator program that gives you 100,000 euros, you stay with us for 6 months or 12 months, and off you go. We have the ability to place a contract, and this is truly unique for us. So DIANA's whole model from start to finish is about speed and scale. So if wars are changing and speed and scale of technology is the game changer here, that's how we are going to run our business. One, we are creating one standard pipeline that every ally can leverage with competitive selection, rigorous evaluation, and fast-track procurement pathways for any technology that proves itself. And we don't measure success by how many demos we've done, how many startups we've got in our community, but we measure ourselves on how many capabilities we've fielded in the real world and to our militaries. We've become the Allied Defence Technology Adoption Engine for NATO, and our mission isn't just to foster innovation, it's to deliver capability, as I said. And we don't do this on our own. We leverage the best accelerator sites, over 200 test centers, over 600 plus mentor and evaluators across the alliance. We're using the best of the best within the alliance to help deliver for our innovators, to help coach them and turn their great technology into capability. So it's great, you will say, you've got great superpowers, but what have you actually achieved, right? We've accelerated more than 270 companies through our program, creating choice for allies to better enhance or replace existing military capabilities. So we are scaling too. Year on year, we're doubling our cohorts. In our 2026 cohort alone, and that's 150 innovators, we have seen 65 defense paid contracts since January of this year. That's 6 months. That's real world impact. That's defense impact. We have seen $69 million of dilutive VC funding into our startups of just the 2026 cohort. For allied security, we are seeing great impact. We are seeing tech fielded in one part of the alliance being used in another part of the alliance. For European security, then, this is a valuable lesson. It's created opportunities, but it's also created learnings. And there are 4 key ones I want to talk about. The first is Europe definitely has money to spend. We've seen the commitment at the NATO summit last year, where 5% of GDP will be spent on defense. That's a big commitment for European nations to make. But what we really need to do is unlock that funding from long programs, long cycles, and find that financial headroom to acquire new technology rapidly. And some nations today are doing that really well, and they're actually in this room. You should definitely collide with them today. The second lesson we've really learned is Europe, which is traditionally known for risk aversion, hey, we don't take risks unless it really pays off, is starting to take risks. It's starting to invest. It's starting to look outside of the defense world and into the civilian world. And we're taking risks with procurement, abiding by the rules, but making them work for us. We are also seeing investors and industry coming together as part of this community. And this is not just a government job. This is for everyone. National security is every single person's job, and everyone here is as responsible as I am. And the last lesson, I think, and what's really exciting for me is we at NATO and the new European nations in NATO, we're working together not as 32 distinct markets, but as one. We are procuring each other's technologies. And that is fantastic. For once, we are working together in harmony as a bloc. And that is exactly what we need for the situation we find ourselves in. So we asked you to think about your role. And I hope you've done some thinking, but let me help with that. So startups, on Monday, we launched 6 challenges. And the 6 challenges are operational resilience in contested environments, human survivability, multi-domain autonomy of uncrewed systems, multi-domain sensing and advanced data processing, scalable and adaptable countermeasures for air defense, and responsive logistics. There's more details on our website. We are very clear what we want to see. We are really clear what the defense use scenario is. And these challenge statements, they're 2 pages. They're not going to take a lot of your time. We are open until 3rd of July. Startups, you need to apply. We know time and money is everything to you, so we're not asking for 50-page proposals here. It's 3 pages max. Make sure you answer the challenge statement. Show us your feasibility. Show us your defense application. Show us you have tech superiority, and we will consider you. And we don't take months to decide. We take weeks. By December, if you are successful, you will have your check in your bank account, and you will have an thorough onboarding for January. That is what we do, and that's the pace at which we work. And startups, another point I really want to make is, yes, defense, war, there is lethality here. That is a part, and it's part and parcel of war. But not everything is lethal. There, for example, logistics, applicable in the civilian world, but also in the military world, and no lethal aspect to it. Decision-making, really important in the civilian world, but also in the military world. So please don't be afraid. It's not all bombs and bullets in defense. Please apply. Please read our statements. And the last message I'll leave is for the investors and industry colleagues out there. Look, it's not just government and startups that can do this. Investors, we need your private capital, and we need to give you the demand signal on where to invest. This is a win-win situation for investors, for government, for startups. So please talk to us. And there are a few NATO DIANA people in the audience. If you can put your hands up so people know who to approach. Here are the people. Go and talk to them about how you can be part of our NATO DIANA Capital Network. And startups, similarly, go and approach those people and me after the stage. For industry colleagues, you are part of the adoption pipeline. It is your platforms that our startups need to lock into. So please come and work with us. Thank you so much for listening. I've been Jyoti Hirani-Driver, the Acting Managing Director of NATO DIANA. I'd like to thank you all for listening. I'd like to thank our organizers and the government of Spain. Thank you so much. Gracias.